Jasper Cluckaroo. The aroma of roasting birds was, for Jasper Cluckaroo's scheduled tale, the scent of contentment. Her stall, nestled in the heart of the market, wasn't merely a business, it was a meticulously curated pocket of domesticity. Each plump chicken, each glistening goose, was positioned just so, radiating warmth and the promise of a good meal. She'd spent decades perfecting her marinades, her roasting times, the precise angle at which to baste. The predictable rhythm of the market, the haggling, the cheerful greetings, the satisfied sighs of customers, was a lullaby. It was, she thought, a perfect little ecosystem. A beautifully predictable, feathery ecosystem. But lately, a dissonance had crept into Cluckaroo's contentment. Not a dissatisfaction, precisely, more, a yearning. She'd begun to dream, not of perfectly roasted fowl, but of recording those dreams. Not writing them down, the idea felt crude, but capturing their ephemeral essence, the shifting colors and impossible geometries, preserving them for, well, she wasn't entirely sure for. She'd overheard merchants speak of a dream weaver who lived on the edge of the Whisperwind marshes, a being capable of transcribing dreams into something tangible. Something she desperately wanted. The Whisperwind marshes were everything Cluckaroo wasn't, chaotic, damp, and utterly devoid of predictability. The air hung thick with the scent of decay and unseen things rustled in the reeds. Leaving behind her neatly arranged stall, her reliable customers felt like stepping off the edge of the world. She'd traded a prime roasting goose for directions, and now followed a barely discernible path, guided by a strange, phosphorescent moss that glowed with an unnerving intensity. She'd never dealt with anything that didn't have feathers or a discernible price tag before. The dream weaver, Old Man Tiber, was eccentric. His hut was constructed from interwoven branches and pulsing fungi, and smelled faintly of ozone and regret. He didn't ask for money, or goods, but for memories, specifically, the most mundane, forgotten moments of Cluckaroo's life. He seemed less interested in grand adventures and more fascinated by the precise shade of yellow of her grandmother's apron, or the feeling of flour between her fingers. She'd reluctantly surrendered them, each offered memory leaving a peculiar hollowness in her chest. He eventually produced a small, obsidian orb, humming with a faint energy, promising it contained her dreams. The orb worked. It perfectly captured her dreamscapes, the impossible architectures, the shifting colors, the surreal logic. She could replay them at will, immersing herself in her subconscious. It was intoxicating. News spread quickly. Soon, nobles and merchants alike were clamoring for her dream recording services. She wasn't selling poultry anymore, she was selling escapism, offering glimpses into worlds beyond imagining. She'd amassed a fortune, a grander stall, more assistants. She'd gotten what she wanted, hadn't she? But the memories, they weren't just given to Old Man Tiber. They were taken. She began to forget things. Not important things, at first. The names of regular customers, the precise ratios in her marinades. Then, larger chunks of her life started to slip away. Her grandmother's face became blurry, the scent of roasting birds lost its comforting familiarity. The success felt hollow, built on the crumbling foundations of her own identity. The orb hadn't captured her dreams, it had consumed her life. She returned to the market, a shadow of her former self. Her grand stall was dismantled, her assistants dismissed. She rebuilt her humble setup, meticulously arranging a handful of chickens, the scent of roasting birds strangely foreign. The market felt both familiar and alien, like a dream she couldn't quite place. People stared, whispering about the dream merchant who'd lost her mind. Cluckaroo still sold poultry, but something had fundamentally shifted. The predictability no longer offered comfort, but a fragile, almost desperate stability. She'd learned that some things are meant to remain ephemeral, that the act of remembering is as important as the memory itself. Her dreams were gone, but in their place was a quiet, melancholic understanding. The aroma of roasting birds, though fainter now, held a different kind of richness, a recognition of what had been lost, and a fragile, hard-won appreciation for what remained.